Hello, friends. It's me. And today we are doing something a little bit different. We are talking about a book called Unraveling Secrets, the ultimate locked room psychological thriller. It is written by Josh Lanyon, a name taken from an author whose real name is James Patterson. That's right. The one and only James Patterson has a pen name under which he writes cozy mysteries because he is just that kind of guy. And in this particular mystery, our main character is going to be Daria Stark, who is a former police officer. She had to leave the force after an incident where she shot a civilian. She is now working as a private investigator, and her latest case involves her looking into a missing person. This missing person happens to be the ex-husband of a very wealthy woman who also happens to be Daria's best friend. Her best friend, Madeline, is convinced that her ex-husband didn't actually leave town as he claimed. Instead, she believes that he was murdered. But of course, there are no signs of foul play, and the police have basically closed the case with the assumption that he simply left town. So naturally, Madeline turns to Daria to try to find him. Now, at first, Daria is reluctant to take on this case because she's been trying to lay low and she does not want any more trouble. But she eventually agrees, and she starts digging into the ex-husband's past. As she does, she uncovers some secrets that he was keeping from his wife, and she finds herself in danger as a result. So the story takes place in San Francisco. However, the majority of the action takes place within a single house. So if you're wondering what the deal is with this locked room thing, it's exactly what you think it is. They're locked in a room, and they don't know how they got there. But really, the question shouldn't be, why are they locked in this room? It should be, how did they get there? And that's what makes this story so intriguing. What I found fascinating about this story is how the authors managed to make a locked room mystery work during the modern age. Because traditionally speaking, these kinds of stories would have been set in places like trains or ships where there would have been limited access, and it would have been easier to keep people trapped. But the problem is that in the modern day, almost everything is accessible, and you can pretty much go anywhere you want at any time. So how do you create a sense of claustrophobia and entrapment when the setting itself isn't restrictive? Well, in this story, the authors came up with a very clever solution. They put their characters under lockdown. Now, I'm not exaggerating when I say that this story could not have been written before the year 2020. At the start of the story, we learn that Daria's niece is celebrating New Year's Eve with her friends at her aunt's mansion. At the stroke of midnight, they all decide to bring in the new year by kissing. Shortly afterwards, Daria receives a phone call telling her to get to the house as soon as possible because the girls are sick and she needs to come and look after them. Daria arrives at the house and she finds her niece and her friends suffering from flu-like symptoms. She brings them back to her own house to look after them while she tries to figure out what happened. It turns out that the girls were exposed to a highly contagious virus, and Daria is worried that she might come down with the same symptoms. Just then, she receives a phone call from her best friend, Madeline, asking for her help. Naturally, Daria tells her friend that she can't come over because she might be sick. However, Madeline insists that she needs Daria's help, and she says that she will come pick her up.
بس تشوشيس تصدق هذا تكره سك شيء شيء ما هو ده ولا تيجي كوه أنت ضبي هيد فرا أسوأ ده رياك بتي بس تكاشي كي هذا بتو أسبرف إنسان كذا هذا كولا كسبسي بوي فده كتير هس هذا توا ده بلا ده جار أو أبكيشن تفسير يعني برافو فما أنت به سكتي هذوك يقول أريك وفنت لسه الفان دبن ده أرشنيا زلوا سايدا هاري أنا نسي.
Before she knows it, the door closes behind her and the lights go out. It turns out that Madeline had rigged the house to trap Daria inside, and when the power comes back on, she finds herself locked in the house with no way to get out. This is a fantastic story The plot is fast-paced and keeps you guessing until the end. The characters are well developed and believable, and the writing is excellent. If you are a fan of psychological thrillers or locked room mysteries, then I highly recommend checking this one out. You can find the link to this story in the description below. Now here's the thing. This is a locked room mystery, so you might assume that the story is going to be about Daria trying to escape from the house. But that's not the case. Instead, the story is about Daria trying to figure out why she was trapped in the house in the first place. As she pieces together the clues, she learns that her best friend is not what she seems, and that there is a dark secret lurking beneath the surface of their friendship. The twist ending is one of the best I've ever read, and it will definitely keep you guessing until the very end. Now let's talk about the characters. Daria Stark is a strong, independent woman who is struggling to come to terms with her past. She is haunted by the shooting incident that forced her to leave the police force, and she is reluctant to trust anyone. However, as the story progresses, she begins to open up, and she eventually finds someone she can trust. Madeline is a complex character who is both likable and unlikable at the same time. She is charming and charismatic, but she is also manipulative and vindictive. You really get a sense that she is hiding something, and you can't help but feel that there is more to her than meets the eye. As for the supporting characters, they are well developed and add a lot to the story. Daria's niece Sarah is a fun-loving young woman who's full of life. She is the one who gets the party started, and she brings a lot of comic relief to the story. Daria's brother Ben is a supportive and caring man who is always there for his sister. He is a detective with the San Francisco Police Department, and he helps Daria with her investigation. The story is told from Daria's point of view, which allows the reader to get inside her head and see how she is feeling. This is a great way to tell the story, because it makes Daria more relatable, and it also keeps you guessing because you can't always be sure what she is thinking. Overall, Unraveling Secrets is a fantastic locked room mystery that will keep you guessing until the end. The plot is fast-paced, the characters are well-developed, and the writing is excellent. If you are a fan of psychological thrillers or locked room mysteries, then I highly recommend checking this one out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an upload. And I'll see you next time.